Hang on. I have a problem. Where are the books? Oh, over here. It would help if I had comics. Let me throw this down here. Let me throw this here. And let's get started. So these are the live DC Comics review. Our DC Comics shipments. Weird to explain. FedEx decided not to send us our shipment last week. And the reason being was they told us that the mall was closed. Nobody told mall management that the mall was closed. Nobody told us that the mall was closed. But for whatever reason, FedEx had decided that our mall was completely closed. Not just curbside, but just closed. So they couldn't deliver here. Basically, they're full of shit. Somebody just didn't want to do the work. So even though our shipment said it was out for delivery, out for delivery, out for delivery every day, turns out delivery by FedEx standards means that our shipment was sitting inside of a for God knows what. So we had to go down and pick it up and complain and get it shipped. So we managed to pick up this week's at the same time they give us last week's, which sucks, but it is what it is. So we processed 2 shipments. So I have to do twice the reviews this week on DC Comics books, which is fine because DC is clearly my favorite. I think everybody knows that across the board that DC Comics is for sure my favorite. So give me one quick second. I gotta spam out one more link real fast. Hey, God, one more group. Nope. Sorry, guys, you're getting a weird sideways view of me on Twitch right now because I'm trying to share do something. Twitch.tv. Sorry, guys, for the weird view. Give me 1 second. Green Machine Comics doing live comic reviews this week. Right now. Green Machine Comics. I don't know. Does that link work? I have no idea. Okay. Let's see if we're back.
So damn low. I don't know.
Delete.
Maybe I could do it like this.
Delete stream. Well, now I have to go live again because it stopped. Now it says we're live. No, we're not live. Let's go live. Go live. Why is it not letting us go live? What the hell is going on with Twitch? Twitch is being weird right now. Give me 1 second. Hello, Twitch. Where are you? Hi, Twitch. Can we go live? Oh, I can't do that right now. It says we're live, but I don't think we're live. Are we live? You're lying to me. We're not live right now. Oh, maybe if I go this way, it'll come back. Nope. I'm having the worst time right now with Twitch. So we are not live. Go live. What is wrong with you? It's not letting me go live. I clearly need to close all and reopen Twitch. Okay. Oh, finally. Okay. Hi again, Twitch. Hi, Alex D. What's up? You keep saying my name is Nix. My name is Mix, M-I-X. But hi, how you doing, Alex? I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Thank you for the compliment on my hat. Okay, so what happened was FedEx did not deliver our stuff and Twitch just crapped out on me, so I had to fix that. FedEx didn't deliver our stuff for like a full week and a half after. So we've got a bunch of DC books to review. I can't wait to dive in because a lot of stuff has happened. The Batman Joker War has been going on full swing. Red Hood is teamed with the old Outlaws again. And, well, Suicide Squad is not my favorite book. But we're here and we're ready to go, and I'm hyped. So let's get into it. First is Joker Harley Criminal Sanity Secret Files. I did not know we were going to get a Secret Files for a DC Black Label book. That usually tends to be a DC mainline comic book. But we did. We got a Secret Files for this Black Label. And what is it? Well, it's actually the case files for the investigation involving Criminal Sanity, which is still going on, mind you. So it was pretty interesting. It linked together thank you for the lights. It linked together a bunch of Joker's previous cases and, gave a little more info on Harley. And so it was interesting. I will say that if you're looking for a full-blown comic, this is not entirely it. There is a lot of actually file-looking papers and, evidence bag stuff. And while the art is really good, I have nothing to complain about from the art. It's not your typical comic. So just know that this is a side book to go with Criminal Sanity. Don't jump in here. Please, God, do not jump in on this book. We do have some other Criminal Sanity books that we will sell you to go with this, though. Next is, well, this is the big one for the week, and we need to talk about it. Oh, God, do we need to talk about it?
Ooh, yeah.
That is Joker War. Now, if you don't know what's been going on, well, the Joker is now bankrolled with Bruce Wayne's funds. He's made a play and he's stolen Bruce Wayne's funds. On top of that, his end goal is to reveal who Batman is to the world. So this picks up with Batman being hunted in Gotham by Joker's gangs, and Joker being at the full helm and in control of Wayne Enterprises. And what that means for a lot of the players is, well, a lot of disdain and a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. The Joker is trying to remove the fact that his name is tied to Wayne Enterprises. He doesn't want the public to freely admit that, so his lawyers are suing people. Meanwhile, Bullock, Commissioner Bullock, I should say, because he's commissioner now, because Gordon's out, he's not having it at all. And it's one of the things that I actually really love about Harvey's character is he's grown pretty far, like a long way. He didn't always like Batman. He very much likes Bruce Wayne and very much supports Bruce Wayne and is very angry at Joker taking over, and he's vocal about it. Legally, he's not supposed to say anything, but he doesn't give a crap because Bullock is allergic to bullshit. That's the way his character is. So it's great. It's honestly great. More importantly, I mean, they keep hinting that Batman is hearing Alfred's voice here and there, and yeah, okay, maybe he's hearing Alfred's voice, but part of me wants to believe that maybe they're going to bring Alfred back. And the way I've thought about this is Thomas Wayne does get his back broken by Bane at the end of City of Bane. He has his back broke, and we know that that's the case, but does that mean he's dead? Probably not. Probably not in comics. And we do know that there's an oasis. Ra's al Ghul has that oasis, or Raish, if you want to pronounce it wrong. But Ra's al Ghul has that oasis where somebody could trade their life for somebody else's. So why not trade his life for Alfred? Why shouldn't the guy who wasn't exactly a good father in his own timeline and definitely isn't a good father in Bruce Wayne's timeline, why shouldn't he trade it out for the good father? And I think that would make perfect sense for his character, and that would be the final turn of his character arc. And we could all put Flashpoint. I would forgive everything Flashpoint Batman did if he went and did that. I'd be okay with that. I think everybody wants that. So we'll have to wait and see. But I just want to see Alfred Pennyworth again. So, okay. Batman Joker War Part 1, amazing. Tynion the Fourth has really hit his stride, and it shows. It's great. The art is great. Don't skip this book if you're a DC fan. Do not skip it if you're a DC fan. It is so good. So good. And I can't wait. Next is DC's Cybernetic Summer, a 80-page giant. If you don't know, DC tends to do a 80-page giant book every summer. And I think last summer was, Dog Days of Summer? Yeah, and it had Bat Cow, Joker Cow, which Is yeah. This one is, well, it's the same thing. You get a bunch of DC stories, and a lot of them are really comical and lighthearted. One in particular involves Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, which are always so funny to me. As much as I like Jaime Reyes, the Ted Kord stories make me crack up, and this is no different. I had a good time with that story. The rest of the book is good too. There's not much to complain about, but you have to know what you're getting into with these books. They're not going to be the usual on-the-shelf type regular comics. They're escapism. They're fun. They feel a little bit more like comics of old when there wasn't a lot of gray. It was just black, white, and laughter. And that's why I like them. So anyways, DC Cybernetic Summer, good book, good showing. But again, you have to like DC. So next is Batman Superman, issue number 10. And it's weird that I have these two back to back because, again, this book feels like a callback to older DC titles. They're fun. Superman throwing out puns. But the story itself gets pretty gritty and dark. So while this book feels like it's referencing some older comics, at the same time, this book is fresh and feels pretty darn good. So I've had nothing but good things to say about the Batman Superman line. This book in particular was great. It involved oh god, what is his name? The white gorilla. Oh god, I can't remember his name. Ultra Humanite. Ultra Humanite is an albino gorilla, and well, he's got like a giant nuclear weapon, and it winds up going off, or it's a bomb. It winds up going off. It kills him, and it kills a decent amount of people, and well, it causes a disaster. I don't think they ever touch him. They're not actually just killed a bunch of people, but Superman catches the blame for it. Meanwhile, the blame actually might fall on Batman, it seems. So it's kind of a cool mystery. And the villain is not quite what we thought at the beginning of the book. It felt like a Gorilla Grodd type villain, but became something else. So I had a good time with it. But I mean, it's funny, it's punny, and any book that has Batman go, "What the?" always makes me laugh, because if you catch Batman off guard, you've done something pretty damn good. Like the ring, like Yellow Lantern Power Ring type stuff. So I've had a good time with it. I would say issue 10 is a perfectly good starting point if you want to jump in on Batman Superman, and if you want a book that is a bit lighthearted and a bit gritty, it's pretty good. Next is a book I can't stand, and it's weird to say because I have the ring on my keychain, and I wanted to like it, but I just am not enjoying this Legion of Superheroes as much as I love Jonathan Kent. I love Jonathan Kent's new look. Okay, let's get into it. Legion of Superheroes. Earth had lost its oceans. They got the Trident of Aquaman, which lo and behold was the key to restoring Earth's ancient oceans. That's what they're doing now. Restoring the ocean. So it's cool. It's kind of cool. But the problem is Legion of Superheroes has a lot of characters that I know. Some of them are old brands. Like I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Well, some of them are old characters and some of them are new characters. But I don't care about any of these characters beyond, well, Superboy Jonathan Kent. Or I guess we call him Superman Jonathan Kent in this timeline. But he's really the only one I care about. Maybe the Brainiac character, which is kind of cool. So it's weird. You have all these characters jockeying for your attention in this book, but you really don't care about anything they say. And that's putting it lightly. Again, this is a Bendis book, and what Bendis does best is make new characters. I wish he'd only do that. I'm not having a good time with this book. That's all I'm going to say. Honestly, this one is you could skip it probably this week, and you wouldn't miss much. Let's see. Bubba says, "Hola, Senor Jack. Forgive me if I don't." Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna keep doing my reviews. Signal is stabilizing. That's cool. Okay, next book, Suicide Squad. Now, I don't think I've hid my disdain for Suicide Squad either. When when the movie came out, there were a lot of people who were new to comics that were all about the Suicide Squad comics, and I hated them. Meanwhile, Red Hood and the Outlaws was right next to it on the shelf, and that book was amazing, and nobody was paying attention to it. So I kind of got a little bit of a bone to pick with Suicide Squad, and I've been honest about it. Now, this one sort of has a first appearance, sort of. Deadshot's daughter is now going to be taking a moniker called Live Shot. I said it. It's a horrible name. It's terrible. Ah, man. And her outfit sucks. Let's get her a better outfit. But I don't think her name should be Live Shot. I think, honestly, what might be happening here is that we might be seeing a passing of the torch, maybe. Placeholder, maybe. Meanwhile, the Suicide Squad is, well, Deadshot's had enough, and I think he's going to take out the Suicide Squad, I think is the plan. So it's pushing a new arc. It's a little interesting. I'm not going to lie. I was a little intrigued by it, but I don't like Suicide Squad very much. And I'm hoping that when James Gunn does the movie, that suddenly that's the team. Whoever he picks, that's the team that from there on out. And I'll probably love it because he did the same thing with Guardians. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy after James Gunn's movie. So maybe I'll like the brand after that. Right now, I just can never bond with it. I'm not sure what it is. Next is John Constantine's Hellblazer, and wow. So we knew last issue it was basically a mermaid mythos tale, the old mermaid tales, not the ones you grew up with from Disney. Yeah. We're talking the myths, which were usually like a mermaid lures a man to his death type stuff. Yeah, it was real dark and sinister stuff. This was in reverse. It was a man luring a mermaid to her death, and well, essentially using her to hunt for monkfish so he could become a famous fisherman. And when he ran out of monkfish, he tortured the mermaid in some messed up ways. So he did become a famous fisherman and impregnated the mermaid and abused her. And so it was the reverse of A Mermaid's Tale. It was a mermaid being abused by man, right? And it was dark. It was sinister. It was twisted. It was creepy. It was good. And John Constantine's at the middle of it all in a swearing cuss fest, meanwhile figuring out what's going on and realizing maybe he's a bit too late to this situation. So it plays out exactly how John Constantine should be written. This is the wrap up for The Mermaid's Tale. It was only 2 issues, which I don't have an issue with. If you're going to do a quick story arc, as long as your story is good, 2 issues is fine. You don't need a 6-issue fill where like 4 of them are filler. Like, by all means, if you've got a story arc that you can wrap up in 2 issues and it's damn good, do it. This is an example of that. I had a really good time with this story. You can probably, I think we might still have the first one on our shelves. You could get both of them from us, but it's great. Granted, it's DC Black Label. I don't recommend this for kids. It's very, very adult. But if you like DC Black Label or you like John Constantine, you're like me, you really like John Constantine Hellblazer, this will be your jam for sure. So come pick it up. Next is Plunge, and again, this is, well, it's DC Black Label, but it's also Joe Hill House Comics. And Joe Hill, well, again, I think I said this before, this is Slither meets The Thing. And they aren't even hiding that it's The Thing. It's so much The Thing that the main bad guy who is a vocal for the creature, or vocal point for the creature, looks like Kurt Russell. He looks like strung out Kurt Russell. So they're not even hiding it. And is it good? Yeah, it's good. I will say that I skipped a few issues. I think I jumped in on 4, and 4 wasn't that confusing. 5 was a bit confusing after a couple of months of not reading it. So I will say that if you're gonna jump in on this book, come get 4 first before you get 5. Come get 4 first. Maybe try to get a few other back issues before you jump in on it. But is it good? Yes, it's good. I'm not bored. The art is good. The story's great. And I get, honestly, I get when they're paralleling stuff. And if they're doing it right, it's a good comic. And this is the case for that. So Next is Red Hood Outlaw. Oh, man. Lobdell, Panalina, and Prianto. And, okay. I'm a huge, gigantic, massive Red Hood fan. I think I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I love Red Hood. I love Red Hood comics. I'm happy that the Outlaws are back. I don't like this artist. I can't stand it, and it's nothing personal. The art is not my jam. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's way too weird and gritty at times. Like, everyone's face has too many lines, but their eyes look dead. Their faces have too many lines. Their eyes look dead. I can't put my fingers on it. And I keep in mind, I'm criticizing an artist who is infinitely better at art than I am. So you can take it with a grain of salt. But I don't like this art very much. You can be the judge if you like. It's just not my jam. It's not my jam. But here's the thing. This is Lobdell, Pantalina, and Prianto. The story is great. The story is absolutely great. It's what I want from an Outlaw story. It's nice that the team's back together. More importantly, the old Outlaws are going to sort of mix in with the new Outlaws, which is kind of cool to see. But I don't know. Something about the art's just not selling it for me. And it's so bad, in fact, that I shouldn't say it's so bad. I shouldn't criticize art and say bad. It's so not my jam that it's got me considering that I might actually cancel my sub for right now, which is weird to say. Like, that's not something I've ever done with Red Hood, not in a long time. Yeah, I don't know. The writing is great. I just wish they'd bring another artist in, and that's all I'm going to say on that. So if you're a Red Hood fan and you're an art snob, you're probably in a weird place like me right now. So sorry about that. Next is Justice League Dark, and I will try to hold these up so that Twitch can see the covers too, because I've been sort of skipping on that. Justice League Dark, and if you can't tell, Zatanna will resurrect her father, no matter the cost. And if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, it's very fitting that it's a Zatanna cover and the words are all backwards. So if you get that, you understand DC's magic user Zatanna. What I will say to you is that this issue does not actually center around Zatanna. It doesn't center around Zatanna. It doesn't center around Wonder Woman. It centers around Bobo Detective Chimp. And I love Bobo Detective Chimp monologues for a lot of reasons. One, I love his monologues. They're very dry. They're perfect. They're exactly what a detective story should be. Two, everybody always counts out Bobo, and Bobo is a heavy hitter. I'm sorry. If you count out Bobo, Bobo will swing a sword through your skull. And that's just how I feel. I love the character, and more importantly, the character is really intertwined with the Oblivion Bar, which I've said many, many times is my favorite, most underutilized location in DC Universe. And it's just amazing. So this issue was great. It was great. It's a precursor to something bigger, which seems to be Zatanna's father might be resurrecting. More importantly, they're still dealing with New Magic and all the qualms from New Magic, and they're still dealing with the original, what's his name? The Upside Down Man, the original magic user that is sort of devouring magic users. So they're still dealing with that. It's great. But I don't think I've ever said anything bad about this Justice League Dark run. It's been amazing. I've had a really good time with it, and I don't think you'll be disappointed if you jump in on this issue. Next is Batman 95. This is Tinian. Oh no, this is still bad. We already reviewed Batman 95. This is just a variant. I just thought you guys might want to see this variant, which looks pretty amazing. It's got Joker on the cover, and then it's got references to the Court of Owls and Batman on the bottom. It's kind of cool. Anyways, so I figured I'd show that off. Next is Amethyst, issue 4, and this story is weird. Granted, it's about Gemworld, and Gemworld is kind of a weird place. The art is good. I don't have anything to complain about with the art, but again, it's the Wonder Comics stuff. There's not a lot to complain about with Wonder Comics. It's fun. It's definitely an adventure. It's just weird, and they're always carting around a giant like caterpillar bug, and it's strange. Gemworld's a weird place. So If you need a little Gem World or you like Amethyst, you thought she was great in Young Justice and you want a little more backstory in Amethyst, you would be perfectly at home with this. But don't start with this issue. Go back a little ways. Basically, Amethyst is trying to get her kingdom back from the evil king, which I think his name is Opal. Yeah, I think it's King Opal. I could be mistaken. It could be King Quartz or King, I don't know. Insert a geology thing because rocks are fun. But I will tell you that the Amethyst run, it's not my jam, but I kind of get the sense that this story is written for young girls. So if you're a young gal, you might really like this story. It's just, as a grown man, it's not really my jam. Next is, wow, did not expect this. This is Batman Detective Comics, and if you can't tell on the cover, it has Two-Face and a Talon, and more importantly, that's the Talon that was rumored to be Bruce Wayne's son at one point. And this is Tomasi, Walker, Hennessy, and Anderson. The duel, and ultimately this asks, what side would Two-Face choose? Would he choose the side of Joker, even though Joker's been pulling his strings? Or would he choose the side of Batman, even though Batman's been an adversary for against Two-Face, but Batman's been an ally to Harvey Dent? So who would he choose, and why? And it poses a moral quandary for one of Batman's like longest villains, longtime villain, and a really good villain. And it might actually change the villain landscape permanently for Batman. And it might change a man completely. And more importantly, you might get to see one of the best characters in DC history. No. He's not really the best, but if you know who Matches Malone is, you get to see Matches Malone in this issue. And if you don't know who Matches Malone is, well, it's Bruce Wayne in disguise. I just love the name. Everybody loves the name, Matches Malone. He's in this issue. So come check it out. Again, Detective Comics 1024. I would say you have to be a Batman fan to really enjoy it, but it was great. I had a good time. I wouldn't start with this issue. I'd go back an issue and get the beginning of what's going on with the Joker War before I start on this issue. But it was a pretty damn good Detective Comics. I will say that. The last book on our list for this, for DC Comics this week, because we still got Marvel coming in tomorrow, is Bendis, Romita Jr., Jansen, and Anderson. And this, of course, is the House of Kent Chapter 2 Action Comics. Now, again, we're still dealing with Red Cloud. I guess we've been dealing with Red Cloud now for 2 years, maybe? I don't know. We've been dealing with her for a long time. She never gets resolved, and I don't really care for that villain very much, if I'm honest. It's an okay villain. Naomi's much cooler, Bendis. You made a much cooler hero than this villain. You should use your hero more. But it does center around Connor Kent, who has come back to the universe to find the universe changed around him, and he doesn't really have a place in it. And so he goes to Clark Kent, and he needs some advice, and it goes from there. It's great. I do like the writing. Oddly enough, I haven't really liked Bendis' Action Comics writing, but I had a pretty good time with this issue. Maybe I'm a little biased because I liked and missed Connor Kent a bit. But, okay, that was good. The art, not my jam. And I've said this before. John Romita Jr., maybe the guy's just living in the shadow. I think the guy is just living in the shadow of his dad, where everyone is like, his dad was a great artist. He's an okay artist. I don't know. I never like his art. I've never liked his art. And I've tried. I've really, really tried. And, I don't know. You can be the judge. Look at the cover. You can be the judge. If that looks like that might be your jam, then okay. I'll show it to Twitch. If that looks like that might be your jam, then okay. But it's not my jam. As an artist, me and him, I don't like his work. But it is Action Comics. It's mainline. It's Bendis. Should you buy it? If you're a huge Action Comics fan, you should buy it. If you're a huge Action Comics fan, you should buy it. If you are anyone else, skip it. But again, I'm an art snob. So if you find me a book with a mediocre storyline but really, really cool art, I might still pick it up. If you find me a book with an amazing storyline but mediocre art, I'll probably skip it. Because art is almost non-negotiable for me. So again, I'm an art snob. So yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you. And I guess that's our show for this week. Good things have been coming though. Our website is in full form. Granted, I need to add a link so that you can go from our website to your box and check and see what's in your box and order everything in your box. So I think before I get out of here today, I'm going to wind up doing that on the web. So that'll happen. In the meantime, I think that's our DC show for this week. Expect to see a Marvel show tomorrow where we will discuss all the Marvel books. And honestly, it's a good week for DC. But technically, in our shop, you're getting 2 weeks worth of books. So sorry about that. But again, FedEx. So okay, I'll see you guys later. Oh, do the dance. Do the dance.
Hey guys.
End stream.
Oh, I mean, hit like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, hit like and subscribe
Don't forget
and
to
all
hit
that
bell
jam.
icon, blah blah blah.
Blah,
Bye, guys.
something about a bell icon. I don't know. I don't get it. All right. And Twitch. Goodbye.